Yo, yo, yo. Yo, 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 yo. Do. Happy Easter, happy Easter. I already see so many arts on the Twitter with the Easter stuff. Oh my god. What's up, Lucas? How you doing? If you run your own. What you up to? This Friday. Do you celebrate the Easter stuff, or you just chilling, or like what's going on? Shit. Uh, Today chilling, tomorrow and Sunday in the countryside at family. Nice. My mother is from. People celebrate it very big. Ah, seems pretty interesting. Um. Can't wait for the Easter sausage and ham. Oh shit, that sounds dope. Sausages. Bum, bum, bum. Skin is so cute. Whoa, that Day by Daylight Easter skin. That's cool. The floppy ear. That's cute. Tablet. Oh. Bum, bum, ba, 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 bum, bum, da, 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 da. Don't have special Easter, but yeah, DBD. I see. I mean, it does look like it's gonna, I don't know, either releasing a skin related to it or something like that. I don't know, but it looks like it. Bang the girl is like the cute kawaii girl of DBD, so it's just fitting. Ah, I see what you mean. I see, I see. Yeah, I forgot that DVD also have like the original character set. 'Cause they do so many like partnership with like other games or movies that I forgot they have original characters as well. Kind of want to color this. Maybe later though. New drawing time. True, but they have more OCs though. Yeah, that's why I forgot about that. Mm. Ba, 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 ba. Hmm. Okay. Boom, ba, boom, ba, boom, boom. Hmm. What kind of post should we go for today? Oh my god, dude. Sorry. Oh shit, this song's too chill, but it's so good. God damn. How's your day? It's been alright. I actually slept for most of the day today because I've been lacking sleep a lot during the weekdays because of during the work days. So I feel like the moment I got an extra holiday, my body just like dead. I spent a whole day like sleeping. I think I sleep like almost 12 hours today. I know, I know. It's kind of crazy. You sure you're still alive, old man? I don't know, dude. I don't know. Ugh. Oh my god. But it is what it is. Oh, by the way, the commission thing, I've been toggling around with the six of those things. I probably can show you like hopefully tomorrow, like some of the thingy thing, the design. And I actually have like some of them like options that which one would you like better. But yeah, hopefully I can show you some stuff tomorrow. Okay. Was planning to do it a little bit quicker, but work's been yeah a little bit here and there. Work doing work things. You know what I mean? Yes, sir. Appreciate for the patience. Hey, what's up, Yua? Yua Midcock. How you doing? Oh shit.
Tactical nuke!
Oh!
Incoming!
Oh my god! I just started the stream. Yui with the raid. Dong slide, welcome. Welcome, welcome. How you doing? Thank you for the raid. What's up, what's up? How's the Apex grind going? Also, welcome to the Easter special stream. I don't know if that's proper, but basically I'm just gonna draw girls in bunny suit. Yes, you know the good old Easter stuff. Wow. How you doing? Curse. What do you mean cursed? Is not going well? Right now I'm drawing one of my OC, Katie. Trying to find some fun stuff with her because with this Easter thingy because she got the shape shifting stuff going on. So I wanna see what I can do with that with the bunny theme.
My streamer is so funny. WKWKWKWK.
True. What's up, Gar? How you doing? And Psyche. How you doing as well? Welcome, welcome. Welcome to the stream. How you doing? Happy Easter, by the way, if you guys are celebrating. Hope you guys are having a good holiday. Spending your quality time with family and friends, hopefully, hopefully. Have you seen the new Daft Punk video? I saw the storyboard thingy thing. But is there anything else new? Any more new stuff? Because that's the last one that I saw. The yeah, the storyboard. Unless there's something else that I haven't. But I do know there's been Daft Punk related going on. I just had dinner. What'd you have for dinner? What you got? What you got? Something delicioso for show, for show. Actually, for anyone who's celebrating Easter, do you guys like do other than the religious activities? There like a cultural things going on for you guys? Because I'm pretty sure that's a thing in some countries, obviously. Like, what's the unique thing that you guys do, culture-wise? Mm. Letting someone comment your mom. God damn it. I eat your mom, lol. Where I'm going, it is tradition to get your Easter meat and take it to the church on Saturday to be blessed by the priest, and only after that you're allowed to eat the meat. Weird thing, especially for atheists like me, but still fun to watch. Ah, interesting. Instead of Carinthia is the only Austrian region to have that. Ah, must be a very crucial part of the culture in that area then, maybe. That's cool. I like it when a certain region have like that very specific culture, tradition stuff. Like it's just very, you know, it's just cool. I don't know if this is unique, but we have a cenaculo, which is a playing depicting the passion of Jesus Christ, his trial, suffering, and death. What do you do exactly? That specific? Is that like you know, what was the activity? Because I think for me, I don't celebrate it, but my friend, one of my work colleague, celebrating it, and what they do is I forget what they call it. It's they call it Good Friday or some shit like that, in a more uh you know stuff. But shit, I forgot the activity. But they have to go to the church from Friday, Saturday, and Sunday, back to back. Like there's three different event going on each days. But that I have no idea what it is in detail, obviously. Filipinos do a lot. Today's Good Friday. Yeah, true. You do salubong and also visita iglesia. Oh, dude, that sounds fancy. So like in Filipino, there's like multiple of things. Is that like everyone do that, or is it like depends on the specific uh tradition? The Catholic. Ah, okay, gotcha. Interesting. Yeah. Is the majority. I see. Dum, 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 dubidubidubidubidu. There are only leleliks here. Good one. Let's not try to make this a religion, yeah? That sounds scary. Leleliks. Catholics have celebration of Easter, but Good Friday is the most important one for Protestant Christians. Ah, gotcha. Can I pray to Radu after what he said about his stuff? What do you mean? Hmm. Hmm. Okay. Okay, okay. Do, 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 do. Hmm. Goo, 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 goo. What's up, boo? Oh, hi there, mama. Whoa. What you gaming later? Either continuing Metal Gear's Rising, since we started that on Friday, and I really enjoyed it. Either that, or I do have like two other games, new games that I wanted to try. We'll see. We'll see. But that's the plan so far, at least. Metal Gear Rising Revengeance really, really, really fucking cool. It went above and beyond my expectation. Can't believe I haven't played it this whole time till today, until Friday. Revengeance, yes. I've never played it before, and it's my first time. So yeah, it's quite an interesting game, not gonna lie, which I really, really like. It blew up with popularity again recently. I saw it from Charlie, Moist Critical. He replayed it recently. I was like, whoa, I forgot this game existed. I was like, oh shit, it looks so fucking cool. I need to check it out. And there we go. It's probably why. It's probably Charlie. I have to guess. The Big Moist. But then, to be fair, for me, in my region, Revengeance is region locked on Steam. I know, kind of weird for like so many years. So it's only available on consoles. That's why back then I remember my friend bought it on Xbox 360, if I'm not wrong. And we played it over there on that console. But I didn't play much. So apparently I've been missing quite a lot. This coolness. Huh? Yeah, I know. It's kind of weird. It's the publisher being weird. I forgot his publisher. Konami? I think. Konami. Okay, the song's way too chill. Oh, and the other game, now that I remember the name, Hellblade. That's also another game that I wanted to give it a go. I've been I've been holding it back for quite a while now. And since the sequel's announced and come in this year, I think it's gonna release this year. I feel like I should check it out, see what's up. Apparently, a lot of people are really praising the game. But I have no idea how it is. The fuck is this song? There's Bunny Lucian. I don't know. Okay, what is this song, man? Ooh, Hateno Village. Scaly. Talking about spoopy, tomorrow we're gonna play some spoopy game. Which I'm kind of excited about because it looks really pretty fucking creepy. So, yeah. Kind of want to play it today, but no. Well, let's dedicate a horror game on Spoopy Saturday. Make it a formality. And it's the only day I can scream without being complained by my neighbors. Spoopy as in Radu Sims about Astolfo. What do you mean? Spoopy is spoopy. Spooky man, spooky. Gotcha, man. Shit. So yeah, okay. Okay, dude. You know, Daft Punk just released some new things on their YouTube channel. Shit, or like memory lock of them. Yeah, Psyche also told me about it earlier, but I'm not sure. I haven't checked it out. Well, be dope. I mean, obviously, it's not gonna be anything about their coming back, but goddamn, anything Daft Punk related, I'm down. Okay, the storyboard thingy, I already saw it. Around the World in the Classroom with Michael Gondry? What the fuck? What is it, like talking about like the video clip?
So when I was younger, I was a big fan of this funk band, kind of in this way. For each instrument.
Oh my god, it's like going in depth with the music video, I think. What the hell? I miss them so much. I know, man. I know. I'm pretty sure a lot of people do. I mean, it's Daft Punk. Of course, everyone's gonna miss them. Around the World and Instant Crush are my top listening. Oh, Instant Crush is such a good song. Such a vibe. Especially with Casablanca's video voice. Woo! They have such a fucking godly video. The Strokes is one of my favorite band as well. So that collab was really fucking huge for me. So you big dubs. I kind of want to hear them. Hold up. Then again, I don't like whenever people ask me what's my favorite Daft Punk song, it's really hard to say, but the one that I always stick to my head was probably Very Disquo uh from Discovery. That one really sticks with me. And I I don't know. There's so many. Robot Rock is also pretty dope. I like it. Uh, I know not many people actually a fan of the fucking, you know, the album. Rollin' and Scratchin' is good as well. It's a classic. Okay, Daft Punk time. Let's see. Yeah, I feel like Human After All is like not a lot of people actually like it. Then again, it is very it was like they're very super, I don't know what's the word for it, like very electronica, like experimental. I feel like I can say like there's some there's always my favorite song in every album. Like for example, Aerodynamic or Digital Love are, oh my god, so good. And then from the newest one, the Random Access Memories, like, you know, fucking Instant Crush, obviously, or Get Lucky is fucking good, you know. Um, Contact was really cool. Doing It Right is really cool. Dude, I don't know. It's really hard for me to pick a favorite song from Daft Punk. Like I feel like I don't have a song that I don't like from them. That's the thing. Giorgio by Moroder also. That one's really fucking sick. Oh man, dude. Oh man. Oh man. Okay, let me see. Which one should we listen to? There's too many I know. Yeah, the music, the fucking movie thing is pretty cool as well. It's very underground-ish, but you know, I'm pretty sure not a lot of people know about it. But if you're a fan of Daft Punk, you definitely have seen it for sure. They even use some of the clip as like their you know, the last video. Dude, we need to watch that. Hold up, hold up. We need to watch that one. We need to watch the last video, if you know what I mean. It's gonna be extremely sad, but we have to see it. What's up, Payne? How you doing? Sorry if people in the chat is not, if you're not you know, Daft Punk, you know, it's this conversation sounds very weird, but it's very nerdy. It's a very nerdy talk. Okay, we need to watch this again. You know what this video is. You know what this video is. Oh shit. Oh fuck. As a kid, I wanted to have their vinyl so bad, but it's so hard to get. True. And that's it. Fuck! The OG song is also really good, actually. Let's play that real quick. The use of Jackson Frank's song in the end is just beautiful. Mm-hmm. Oh my god. I'm getting emotional, bro. But hey, all good thing must comes to an end. You know? Every first stream you gotta see how wholesome this is. React Andy, remind me again later, okay? What do you mean for Doc Leaf? You know it well better than anyone. Forget the intro is so. I need something more. Yeah. Where do I begin or belong? Tell me what you see. I need something more. Ooh. Where do I belong in? The room between a room. Door behind the door. Something more. Holy shit, there's more. I need something more. Touch cook. Here comes the drum. Ooh. God damn. Or have you inherited the femboy flame? What? Wait, what? If love is the answer, you're home. Hold on. Love is the answer, you're home. Oof. Oh my god, dude. The vocoded song, a sound. This is my favorite part about Daft Punk. Oh my god. answer your home. Hold on. Love is the answer your home. Hold on. Love is the answer your home. Huh? Dude, this arpeggio as well. Oh man. Every time I hear this violin part now, it gets emotional, man. Oh, fuck. It's always remind me of the video. God damn it. Is the answer your home? Hold on. Love is the answer your home. I think there's a late motif of Get Lucky earlier. I will just lyric with earbuds from now. Thank you for that epilogue. Hell yeah, man. Hell yeah. No worries, no worries. It's too much to feel. Sweet touch. Something more. Goddamn. People paying to you. Exactly. That's me. Oh shit! It's impossible to not jam with the song. To the song. Like the legend of the phoenix. Forces are beginning. We've come too far. So we are. Shit, this hair. What is this I'm feeling? Only if I'm waiting. We've come too far. We are. Let's raise the bar. She's up all night to the sun. I'm up all night to get some. I'm up all night to get lucky. All night for good fun. She's up all night for the sun. I'm up all night to get some. She's up all night for good fun. To get lucky. We're up all night to get some. We're up all night for good fun. We're up all night to get lucky. I'm too tired to make stupid jokes, head empty, no thoughts. It's okay, man, it's okay. We can chill instead. No Saints Flow stand-up comedian tonight, chat. I'm sorry. He's tired. Oh! We're up all night. Dude! Sounds so nice. All night to get lucky. Lucky.
Don't worry, I'm not gonna get tired with your mom cock cat boom LLLLLLL.
Got to it. Good one! All night to the sun. I'm up all night to get sun. We're up all night to get lucky. 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 Woo!
You wanna hear a joke? You are
Wait, what? Sin, how many times do I have to tell you? That's not how the TTS work. How did he say that? Yurmum. God damn it, man. How you doing, by the way? What's up, what's up? Welcome to the Easter special stream. don't dive. You went fine. You're alone. Your child. How you doing, by the way? How you doing? What's up? I don't sell. Love. And you're fine. Forever all to you and I. Ooh! This robot spitting facts. Woo! This is a burning of control. When was the last time you played Apex? Oof, it's been so long. It's been too long, actually. Well, we got Apex Frogs in the chat. Usually I get EU Apex instead. Which is also an emote. Da, da, da. Da, 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 da. My only problem, I love Apex, not gonna lie, but my only problem is that for some reason I cannot get stable frame rate in that game. I don't know why. I just hate it when, you know, mid-fight, my FPS suddenly drop below 60, like 40, the 30 kind of shit. It's so annoying. It makes me miss all my shots. The sudden delay input and everything. Only happens in Apex, unfortunately. Or fortunately, I guess, because I still can enjoy Valorant. I don't have issue with Valorant. But then again, Apex is a battle royale, you know, fucking 50, 60 people in one game kind of shit. So, you know, I guess I kind of expected. But yeah, that's the only reason why I haven't played Apex again recently. I kind of drop it because my PC for some reason struggling with it. Seer emote, I forgot. I forgot about that emote. Oh my god. We added that when Seer was new. Holy shit. Holy shit. Good one. Stinky. Right now, I'm gonna be honest. For like shooter games, that I probably want to play on stream is like you know, I don't know. There's none right now. Cause Valorant, I still enjoy Valorant, but I enjoy that game off stream. Cause I don't know, when I play competitive game, especially ranked competitive like Valorant, I'll focus more on the communication with the teammates, and I notice when I stream Valorant, I don't interact with the chat at all. sometimes. I forgot I was streaming to the point. So I was like, yeah, I don't think Valorant's my streaming game. Because I tend to get a little bit try hard when it comes to a competitive game. Especially the one that I really like Valorant. And that is why I do not play Valorant on stream. Drink that water. Actually, that's perfect timing. Hydrate, chat. Drink your water. Stay hydrated.
Yes, not try hard, just speedrunning a demo.
Okay, that does not count. Because that is fun. Ghost Runner demo. Okay, fair enough. Touche, touche. Speedrunning a demo on stream for fucking days. That was different because Ghost Runner was one of a kind. Like, there's no other games like that. So I was like, oh shit, you know? And speedrunning is fine on stream because, you know, I don't really have to communicate with other people and stuff like that. So I can speedrun while talking to you guys. You know? It's different. While in Valorant, there's a lot of, you know, strategy talks with a teammate, especially in the high ranking. You know, it gets a little bit intense. And all that kind of stuff. So yeah. That's what I meant. You really gotta call me out, huh? With the speedrun demo. Don't worry, we'll get more. We'll get more soon when that game that we saw last stream release. You guys know what I'm talking about. Another speedrunning game. And actually, the developers already confirmed that they're making a sequel for Ghost Runner. So Ghost Runner 2 is in the making, but I'm pretty sure it's not gonna release this year. Probably next year. Val is boring to watch. I feel like it kind of depends. I feel like people who really like to watch over Valorant is the people who also play Valorant. So if you don't play Valorant, it's basically like CS:GO. You know, if you don't play CS:GO, it's not that fun. Same with basically every single competitive game. I don't play League of Legends, and I feel like League of Legends stream is the most boring shit ever. Same thing, same stuff. Which is more boring, Valorant or Apex? In terms of streaming content for viewers, I feel like Valorant. Because Apex is more high octane, you know, movement's more crazy, there's some parkour mechanics, and there's like the clutch moments are more hectic, more chaotic. It's a little bit more fun to watch. Valorant is more accuracy, you know, that one taps that you get is the peak moment and all that shit, I feel like. So yeah, Valorant, in my opinion, only fun if you either also play Valorant or you just watch the streamer for the sake of it. I prefer Apex and Valorant since you scream more in Apex. True. In Valorant, I do not scream. Well, I do scream, but I scream in a more, you know, let's go! Like, like the clutch moments, or like when I hit that ace, or I hit like 3 headshots in a row, I will scream. Like, let's go! The fucking Tyler 1 kind of scream. Not gonna lie. Shit. For Apex, the scream's more of a like a panicking usually. It's like ah, he's chasing me, help, help. I heard leaky. For Apex, to be fair, I don't take Apex seriously at all. Like I don't do the ranked mode at all. I feel like ranked mode in Apex really I don't know. Not just Apex, in my opinion, that battle royale game ranked is just not that fun for me. It takes the fun part about battle royale, which is the RNG-ness. And when you're worried about rank in a game where RNG play a big role, it's stressful. I tried it. I tried to rank up on Apex. It's not fun. It suddenly makes the game a little bit more stressful because I tend to rush people, you know, like do dumb shit just for the sake of like doing cool stuff like that. In return I do die a lot, but it's fun, you know. And you cannot do that in ranked because you're gonna de-rank a lot, and that's not fun for me. Fortnite has a third-person view. Yes, it's true. My friend forced me to play League. Oh no. Just don't. Just say no if you don't like it. I just keep staying back. There's a moment to shine. I just keep playing back. Boom. Everywhere I go, there's a moment to shine. I actually enjoyed Fortnite as well recently. Ever since they removed the building, not gonna lie. It's just a little bit more enjoyable. I haven't played it anymore, but it's fun. It's fun for me. Because after all, the building aspect is the one that makes me about Fortnite. But overall, I'm not. If you guys just wondering, I am not gonna play Fortnite still because not a big fan of a third-person shooter ever, especially a competitive one. They have dashes too and trucks and tanks. Yeah, the game's very chaotic now. It's crazy. Just keep playing back. Such a time. Naruto in Fortnite. Moment to shine. I just keep playing back. Boom. Just fragments of time. Everywhere. Oh. Then. This moment to shine. Do, 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 do. Alien. Wouldn't it be crazy if they add stamina and sprint too? They do. Wait, it's a thing. uh, they did exactly that. I don't know. I feel like Fortnite is fine. It's that okay game that happened to be so popular. Okay, this one is too crazy. Let's go a little bit to the old classic. Ooh. One more time. One more time, we're gonna celebrate. Stop the dancing. One more time, we're gonna celebrate. When will there be a game where we played as Rad? What? Playing PUBG? Forsen? Forisen? With DLC maid outfit. Wait, what? Maid outfit. Oh god. The maid outfit gang is out. One more time, we're gonna celebrate. We got the dancing. One more time, we're gonna celebrate. What if never? That's not a thing. Because it's so dumb. Wait, way too late. No, we don't stop. Can't stop. One more time. One more time. Celebration. No, we gotta do it right tonight. Yeah, it's feeling. Music's got a feeling to me. Me. Yeah. Come on. Alright, we're gonna spare. One more time, music's got you feeling so free. We're gonna celebrate. One more time. Why is it so hard to draw a bunny ear? Hold up. One more time. Okay, maybe we can change it a little bit. One more time. One more time. Trying to make it flops. But, can I hit the right pose? Ooh, classic. Mm. Mm. Boom, 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 boom. Boom, boom, boom. 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 Raddtrap coloring book? Ooh. That's very random. But for some reason, I like that idea. Ooh! Epic solo. Aerodynamic like your mom. Good one. Dude, I'm craving coffee right now. It's 9 p.m. and I'm craving coffee. What the fuck is wrong with me? You know what, Psyche? I know that's just a normal message, but I'm gonna take notes of that in the future if I can do a merch. A rat trap coloring book sounds like a fun merch. Yeah. I'm actually gonna note that down. Thank you. That sounds dope. I don't know if you guys would like it, but I kinda sounds fun. And I'm pretty sure you guys gonna get it anyway for reasons. Consists only of a sofa and your mom. Good one. Probably pregnancy cravings. Okay. I'm not on that stage yet. Wait, what? Coffee and choco. Yeah. I buy it for my future son. Don't please. Please don't. If I'm ever gonna release a coloring book for real as a merch, please don't buy it for your son. Oh boy. Okay. What else? What else? I think we're good. Kind of want to draw this. I mean, color this. Hey, another jammer. Last night I had a dream about you. In this dream, I've waited so long. Come a little closer. The rhythm gets stronger. Little fun all night long. Right? Hold on. I don't know what to do about this dream and you. I wish this dreams come true. Oh, I don't know what to do about this dream and you. How will these dreams come true? Boom, boom, How long have we been streaming? Okay, almost 2 hours. Still get time. Hey. Yeah. What? Dum dum dum. Dum dum dum. Bada bow, bada 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 bow. Bow 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 bada bow 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 bada bow bada bow 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 bada bow bada da tag the game. Okay. Why don't you play the game? Why don't you play the game? Woo! God damn, this song's so good. Epic solo. Woo! God damn. Holy shit. Triple. Why don't you play the game? Me, 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 me. Dun 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 ba dun dun ba ba bum ba do. Hold up. I like this one as well. Yeah, dude, Discovery is probably one of the best album of all time. There's not a single song in this album that I cannot listen to. Holy shit. That emote. Actually. Sorry. All right. Looks pretty good. God damn. Okay, okay. Do you usually use reference like from other artworks or photographs? Yes, I do a lot actually. It is a very good, powerful tool, in my opinion, for drawing a really good, you know, relatable post. Like there's no such thing as rules in arts. Anyone can do anything with how they want to draw, but me and a lot of people swore by references, whether it's got to be from other artworks or photography and all that kind of stuff. I myself actually use reference from a lot of stuff, but my number one most useful reference has been VR chat. Arigato onsen. Thank you so much for so many years. Like I
Your
don't
mom
know.
makes good pose for my drawing cat boom cock.
But yeah, if not because of like things like VR chat or like just simply photographs and all that stuff. Uh like, pose is very natural thingy. So you want to achieve that from real thing as reference. You know, you know. You know, you know. I heard me. Don't worry about it. But yeah, don't be afraid to use reference from whatever it is. You know, maybe you know, you take a lot of photographs or other existing model that's already have like libraries of references. It's normal. In fact, people back in the day, like fucking Leonardo da Vinci, fucking back in the day, everyone uses real people as references. You know? Oh my god. And to the extreme, they even like if they want to learn anatomy, uh, people actually have like this basically contract signs with morgue or hospital or some shit like that. I forgot the term. They can basically inspect dead bodies, like legal shit, you know, and it is sometimes used for science and stuff like that, but it's also used for artists, like professional artists back in the day, to learn muscles and all that kind of stuff. They inspect everything. So yes, art imitates life, imitates art. Kind of bullshit. Can we inspect you, huh? Uh, your mom is art. Good one. Ancient Greek sculptures definitely use reference. 100%. 100%. That's why in some artists they would do like this called no reference challenge or like draw blindly challenge, meaning that you know they don't use reference or anything, just like straight up drawing, because it is a challenging thing. It's not something that the norm, like you know, normally you do not draw without reference, especially if you want to draw something's high detail. The norm is to use reference. But again, art does not have any rules, so everyone have their own ways to draw. You ever think getting influenced every time only wait someone says your mom? Oh no. Oh god, I need to draw the hand. Who the hell pays Hello Games? I checked their Twitter and their last 4 tweets are all massive update to NMS. They robbed the bank or something, I swear. Yeah, I don't know, man. They're pretty crazy. Okay. Change the album again. Get to the older one. One of my favorites from the first album, Homework. Pretty sure It's kind of, yeah. Ooh. Pow, 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 pow. Bow, 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 bow. Bow, bow. Wow, 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 wow. Wow, 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 wow. Wow, wow. Wow, 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 wow. Wow, wow. Oh god. Uh Actually, hold up. I gotta sleep, my eyes are heavy. Alright, dude. Thanks for stopping by, Sky. Have a good sleep, man. Appreciate it, much love. I'll see you around. Bye bye. Hmm. Why is it too hard? So hard to draw this one. Mom spaghetti. Wow, 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 wow. Wow, 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 wow. Wow, 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 wow. Wow, wow. Oh my god. Duh. Fuck. Oh, Jesus. Holy shit. Why am I struggling? A few counters bug? Wait, what do you mean? I saw a video about Elden Ring and it turned into a 19-page novel reading. As for lore, not education. I mean, sometimes you learn something about the thing from, you know, yeah. So kind of like an education. Indirectly, if you really think about it. Holy shit. If you think about it, you educated yourself via reading in-game lore, so that is education. Lore only teach me about the fictional world, though. Does that world have made in our sub and breedable fanboy? Right. God damn it, Chad. God damn it. Shut the fuck up. Oh, I see. Dude, I'm really bad at drawing hands. Holy shit. I cannot right now. I cannot. I cannot chat. Okay, we're getting into the weird sounding region. Let's bring it back. Bring it back a little bit. Let's go back to Zelda. Okay, my Spotify is lagging. What the fuck is going on? All right. Spotify is dying. Very nice. Da, 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 da. Da, 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 da. Just you finish this hand and then we can go to React Andy, yeah? Is there anything new today, chat? Gaming wise? Anything interesting? Da, da, da. Oh my god. Ba, ba, ba. Bum, ba, ba, da, ba, da, ba, da, ba. Ba, ba, ba. Bum, ba, ba, da, ba, dum, ba. Ba, 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 ba. Mhm. 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 Ba-da-bum-bum-ba. Mhm. 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 Okay, we can go with this. Oops. Sorry. Still. Holy shit, dude. Why is it so hard to draw fucking hands?
Just look at your hands, smile.
I wish it's that easy, dude. I wish it's that easy. Rat's hands are girly enough for reference, I get it. Shut the fuck up. Oh, okay, I see what's going on now. Oh, okay, wait. So that means the muscles go from here. Gonna go from here to here. Oh! Okay, figure it out, I think. Let's see. Fitta helvete jävla. If Red ever quits Twitch, I blame us. Why? Bro, okay, Jesus fucking Christ, dude. No swearing. It's too late, man. It's too late. Trust me, I'm not gonna quit Twitch anytime soon. You guys can chill. Oh shit, fuck. The only reason I'm gonna quit Twitch if I cannot stream. Yeah. It's impossible. Oh, see y'all. Forget I have assignment on the deadline. Alright, see ya, Blue. Take care. I've been doing Twitch for too long to drop it. Way too long. It has been my ritual, I guess. To the point is that I cannot imagine myself not streaming. If you stop, I'll be bored. Wait, why's the hyper bra doesn't work? Hyper. Oh, it's called. Wait, oh. Someone changed the name. Hyper bra faint. Was it always like that? Forgot. If you stop, I'll be bored enough to double my workout and become a swole flow. Fair enough. Do you find your new favorite emote, Sin? If Red not streaming, Red will be in VR chat. I mean... Don't know. I don't know about that. Maybe. Maybe not. I don't know. Like I bought Quest 2, right? Like a couple months ago, like November. Last November. Played it a lot. VR chat and even other games as well. Uh the Beat Saber has been my almost my daily thingy. That time after work I always go for Beat Saber and shit like that. It's always a good time. But I'm gonna be honest with you guys.
Guys, if Rad not streaming, he's just gonna play with his cock all day on traps, and that's a fact. Smile, cat boom.
But I'm gonna be honest, VR in general is kind of like having a PS5 right now. It doesn't have. I mean, there's some options, but most of the time it does not even looks appealing. You know. And VR chat optimization just makes me a little bit sick. Sometimes is like just so it's fucking tired, dude. Like if I don't have peeps that I want to go and meet up, I don't usually boot up VR chat. That's how it is right now. So yeah. The optimization just frame rate issue is just so fucking awful. But it was fun. It was fun for what it is. I actually enjoyed my God. Playing VR games. Although in this current gen, it's just not good enough. I feel like to be a major, to be a big general use. I feel like it's still, not that small anymore in terms of the community, but it's not a primary device for a lot of people. It's like a very specific audience. You know what I mean? Like people who really into VR stuff only do VR stuff. You know what I mean? And people who don't really into VR usually play for like a good few months when they first got it, and then they will drop it and usually only play VR stuff when there's a purpose to it. But almost never about, yeah, you know what I mean. Imagine not wanting to play critically acclaimed masterpiece FIFA. Okay, dude. Good one. But yeah, that's my current status with VR in general. It's a very niche market right now. That only people who really love VR would stick with VR. For the longest time, VR chat has been my, uh, you know, I don't know what's the word. Just I don't know what's the word, honestly. Brushes back. Right now the one that I'm using is Bit Husky. Is a default brush on CSP. Very sketchy looking pen. Yeah. Bit husky. But for this one, this pencil looking texture, I am using, I do not know what it's called. Hold up. This thing. It's a community. Is there a way for me to just share what it's called? I don't know, dude. Setting? Yeah, I guess you could just search this in the market. That's what I use for pencil brush. What's up, Ling? How you doing? Your boyfriend, huh? Wait, what? What were we talking about again? Got to it. Meanwhile, Rat released a short song in VR chat on Twitter. That's true, actually. If you guys want to check it out, it's on Twitter. I just uploaded like a couple songs over there. Check it out, check it out. But that's only because I love the map. I just need something for it, and it was that. So that's a different case. I mean, some of you guys know about this. Like, I just like to go to VR chat and go in a very good looking map and just like jam around my music. Especially my favorite for past couple of years has been the shade under the tree. Is that what it's called? Tree under, yeah, tree shade, yeah, that one. That one has always been my go-to. Holy fuck! Such a beautiful looking map. Jenny! Drink water, drink water. Bum, bum, ba, da, 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 da. No. Damn, such a beautiful harp. All right. god, it's almost 3 hours. Okay, break time. Oh my god. Break time. Jesus. I wonder if there's any coffee shop open at this hour. Hold up. Yeah, I'm really craving right now. I'm sorry, chat. Now that you just mentioned VR stuff. I still haven't done a VR chat stream for the thingy thing, huh? Then again, it's not that good. So I don't know if I want to stream it anyway. The tracker thingy. Like, it's an okay full body tracking. It's not the best. It's not that good compared to like the lighthouse tracking, obviously. But for what it is, and especially because I made it myself, it's really fucking good for what it is. There is no coffee open at this hour. Shit. I mean, understandable actually. But goddamn. Fair chat stream, but as a potato? Twerked up potato. What do you mean by as a potato? What does that even mean? Oh shit, this is still open. We're at twerking viewer. Ah shit. I did not owe any fucking twerk. Shut the fuck up. Don't listen to Wanzin. Shut the fuck up. There's no twerking or whatever the fuck. Bam, ba, ba, da, da, dum. Did you say you wanted to draw girls today? That, yeah, it's over ambitious. I forgot how slow I draw. Guess we only finished one. It's not even finished. Like, goddamn, the fucking hand's still sketchy. It hasn't colored it. That again, it's only been two hours, which is understandable. You can draw another girl on top of her. Okay, man. I could, but no, I'm bad at that. I wish I have the patience to draw more than 2 to 3 hours a day. But goddamn, it's really hard. It's not gonna change anything. You'll be patient if you feel sick and went to a clinical hospital. Not wrong, but I don't want that either. No, thank you. Ah, so good. If you are a patient in a hospital, you are just impatient. Jesus Christ. Huh? Oh, what the fuck? No, but you might be in nurse. Probably start as a joke. Oh, Jesus Christ. Ugh. My head. You guys are so funny. Very funny, guys. Beep, beep. Da-da-da-da-da.
Why did Crazy Frog have his dick out?
What the fuck? What is that random fun fact? I don't fucking know. But thank you for the random fun fact, Gara. Whoa, what the fuck? Okay, this one's good. Thank you for the collective immediate cop immediately after I send it. I'm bored. Nice. Dude, I forgot to download the squad thingy. Probably can try it tomorrow or some shit. Where's my coffee? I need my coffee so bad right now. Hold up. Chat, stand up, stretch your legs. We've been sitting for too long today. Stretch up, stretch up. Everyone stretch up. Oh yeah. Opa.
Rad is big all Peodara.
I think you're using that word. I think you don't understand what that means. It's kind of not. Oh my god. I place my cock upon thy thighs. Fuck. I do. That's why you're good at drawing booba. Jesus Christ. Okay, man, listen. I. Oh wait, I think my coffee's here. Hold up. God damn it. Okay, my coffee's here. Give me a second, I'll be right back. God damn it. Here, have this one. Okay. Stop looking at it. I'll be right back. Also, Gara, maybe add people boom in 7TV. I think we need that.
Radstream is very educational, mom. I've learnt new words, cock and your mom smile.
We don't have 70 slot? Oh shit. Let me see. Let me remove one real quick. We can like remove some of the extra emotes. The invisible emotes. Since not many people use that anyway. But now since I mentioned it, you guys are gonna start using it. God damn it. Where is it? I'm gonna remove I think bong. Then we can remove bong. Or chat time. Easy glasses. That's very corny. Alright, I already removed it. You can add one. Let me know when you're done. Twitch Prime! I remember you had to remove something for cock. Yeah. Yes, I think I didn't Google that. I Googled it and I can see Red doing that. What the fuck? I'm on mobile, too lazy. God damn it! Alright. The problem is that the translation is too literal, so it sounds kind of dumb. And add it. Okay. Alright, people boom is now a thing. Refresh the chat. You should be able to see it. Hold up. There we go. People boom. There we go. Fuck, the chat's not refreshed. Now you imagine Red as Master Roshi. Interesting.